I wanted to go to Mark Surman now, who I would imagine would have had some trouble getting even Mozilla off the ground if it came to net neutrality. I just want to give him a little introduction too for those that aren't familiar with Mark's work. He is in the business of connecting people, ideas, everything. A community technology activist for almost 20 years. Mark is currently the executive director of the Mozilla Foundation with a focus on inventing new ways to promote openness and opportunity on the internet. On the side, Mark convenes conversations about open everything in his hometown of Toronto and around the world. Thank you, Mark, for joining us tonight.
Okay, thanks. So many things to say to all this, including the intro, and I'm not going to do that other than to respond to the fear of being depressed. Because I'm not depressed, and I actually don't think we should be depressed. I'm actually in love. And I'm in love with the internet and the web. And I think the nature of this conversation actually needs to switch to that lens. When I was 17, I didn't have the chance to create a blog on the internet. It sucked. I was cutting out, pieces of paper and putting them on the photocopier and making fanzines and shaving my head and all those kind of things. And it was a lot harder. And so, the web is really cool and really great, and we should be happy. So I guess my first question is, how many people love the web or the internet? Right. So we're in a good spot in human history, folks. And we need to start from that spot. And certainly if we engage politicians or companies, whoever that is, starting with the fact that we have a beautiful thing that we love and we want to make better is a better starting point than saying, oh my God, I'm depressed, this sucks. And so I think a really important thing, if we want to deal with net neutrality, make sure that the internet we love is still there, is to change our attitude and start talking that way. And so I'm going to do a few more surveys. People who, in this room, who blog, a non-trivial number. People on TV can't see, I guess. People who tweet, a few more about the same. People who Flickr, people who use Wikipedia, people who use Firefox. Right. So all those. I know I'm totally shameless, but I'm shameless for a very specific reason. Is that all of those things have something in common. All of those things, to me, those things make up the web that I love. And what those things have in common is they've got built into them in some way some sense of transparency. They have built into them some sense of participation. They have built into them some sense of remixability that you can control and change and create them. And that's what makes the web we love. And I think what's important is actually to really understand those are the things we're protecting, those are the things we're looking for, and then say those are things that kind of we expect now. And so when the CRTC makes decisions about competition or makes decisions about who gets spectrum, that we just want to make sure that we have access to the ability to do those things and talk about protecting those things. And it may seem very, very insurmountable and depressing that we have this duopoly, and it sure does suck. I've traveled all around the world, and I can get way better, way faster data on my phone in India than I can here for a lot cheaper. And certainly south of the border, the same is true. So there's no question that in Canada, the connectivity situation sucks very badly. But, I think we shouldn't think of that as insurmountable. You say it may have been hard to get Mozilla off the ground, in a world of net neutrality and a duopoly. It was hard to get Mozilla off the ground, and I wasn't there, when Microsoft had 98% of market share. And the fact that we've gotten, really with a very small amount of money and a small number of paid people, and thousands and thousands and thousands of volunteers, we've been able to move that so that not only does Firefox have 22% market share, but Chrome and Chrome and Safari also are out there creating a world where web pages are made with standards again. And 5 years ago, it was not uncommon to have something that would pop up and would say, sorry, this site only accessible with IE, right? Because people would use these different kinds of ActiveX or whatever. We changed that. And we is 300 million people around the world who changed the market by saying we love the web. And so the strategy question, and I don't have the answer in terms of how we shift this, is how do we say that we love the web and we want it to behave on these principles in this country and around the world. And I think that's the starting point and where I would take this town hall discussion. And I think there are some things you can do, right? I think certainly you can make great content, right? Whether it's these guys or everybody out there tweeting. By doing that, we make something that has never existed in human history, a woven together fabric of story that we all create on a mass scale, right? So doing that says we love the web and moves towards being impossible for politicians to say, yeah, it's fine for this duopoly to shut people down. The other things to do are create great products based on the principles of the web. Firefox didn't win alone because it was granola and hippie. It won because it was great. And so, that's why I use TechSavvy, right? We need more people like Rocky who sell a great product. I can get to their tech support, right? It's not just that he goes in his bus to the CRTC that is the reason he has my dollars, because somebody picks up the phone and I can get technical support, right? So, actually, how many people remember use TechSavvy? How many people don't? Shame on you. Just kidding. I'm not here to promote Rocky.
I guess I owe beers to Mark for the rest of the day.
But seriously, it's a thing that often we forget is you have as much or more impact creating a great thing that reflects the values of the internet than you will about going in a bus to Ottawa. We also need to do that, and we also have a totally screwed up duopoly in this country. But what we need to do is build the internet that's better and not just fight for an internet that's better. And there may be things to be figured out, especially around competition in this country related to the net. But also it's about what we create and not just what we kind of go and try to tell these companies to do. And so I think certainly one of the things that Steve would like you to do, and I think you should, is participate in these CRTC hearings around traffic shaping, talk to your politician, all of those kinds of things. But it is much more about how you communicate and think about the web as something you love and something you want to protect and grow and make more beautiful in Canada. And so I guess, that's really my message is, yes, go help Steve. Let's talk to our politicians. Certainly, this can't be a partisan issue, so I don't care who you vote for. They need to know that the web is an essential part of our culture, our economy. We're screwed if we screw it. All of those things. Politicians should know this is basic stuff. I mean, it's amazing to see what has happened in the last 6 months as Obama has come in the U.S. It is basic. It is taken for granted, despite the huge money that is there in the cable and telephone industries, that the economy and innovation and that America's ability to be a leading country is screwed if they don't deal with the open internet as just a basic piece of infrastructure for the future. So yes, talk to your politicians and say, wake up, look south of the border, look at your kids. But at the same time, focus on talking about why you love the web, what it should be, why it's so beautiful, and that's the place where this conversation is going to go somewhere, in my humble opinion. And sign up for TechSavvy.